Yo, hey guys, poppin', Jacques Slade here. Back with another unboxing, and today we actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 unboxings of some things that are very, very cool. Some things I haven't seen before, and some that are just plain out interesting. So make sure you stay tuned to the end so you get to see everything that's happening here. So let's start with one that is my favorite. I've actually sold this on Snapchat. So if you're following me on Snapchat, you've actually already seen this. But for those that aren't, let's take a look. This is from the good folks over at Way of Wade. So they're doing some really exciting stuff over at Way of Wade, and this pair of shoes right here is one of my favorites that they've done so far. It is the Way of Wade 9. Now this is the low or the mid, kind of depending on how you look at it, but this one is all about the Sunshine State, and there you go. So there's obviously a lot going on with this silhouette, but what Wade is doing with Li-Ning is basically what Jordan did with Nike. It's almost like his own brand within Li-Ning. I shouldn't even say almost, it is his own brand within Li-Ning. And as you can see here, they go crazy with the colorway. So this is inspired by the Sunshine State, and you see it has like this graffiti sort of texture to the upper. Now with these, I do recommend going a half size up because they do fit a little tight. At least they fit a little tight for me. That has been my experience with them. You've seen a couple of these on this channel. You've seen them in the high top version. And the thing about these that I really love, they have a lot of protection around the toe. When I play, I tend to drag my toe, so I get a lot of scraping on my basketball shoes around here. So you have that additional protection here around the edge, but then you also have this extra bit of rubber as well. These have a plate on the inside, as you can clearly see, which I think is cool. Being able to see the tech underneath the outsole is really cool. So you have that carbon fiber plate there that gives you that extra rigidity. And then this has the bounce foam here. As far as details go, you have the D-Wade there and you have the D-Wade there. Now for those that are familiar with Li-Ning, you know, it's pretty hard to get your hands on the Way of Wade, but if you go to their website, sometimes they have those in stock and you can get a pair there. A couple of people have been asking me about that. Now these have the extra zipper on top to keep you locked in, but then they also have laces underneath. So if you're concerned with just having a zipper, you actually have laces underneath as well. They're well cushioned, they fit well, they feel nice. One thing about Li-Nings, or well, actually I shouldn't say Li-Nings in general, just the Way of Wade 9 is the toe is curved a little bit. So you have a lot of travel between this movement here. Now for some people that's weird. Some people prefer to have this a little more flat. I don't mind it as much, but for people that are really focused on their basketball shoes and how those shoes perform, this is something that you may notice that you do have a little bit of a rocking movement here, more than I would say more than usual. It's not, again, it's not a hindrance, but it's just something that I took note of when I played in other pairs of these. I haven't actually played in this particular pair, but anyway, yeah, just want to give you guys a quick look at these. Let me know, is this something that you would rock? Do you like this colorway? Again, this is the Sunshine State colorway. Is this something that is on your radar or something that you would rock? Let me know. Let's move on to the next pair. Next up is a bit of a classic sneaker. It has a very classic style, but it's from this new, yeah, I would say new. It's from a new sneaker band called Kariuma, I think that's how you say it, and they're all about sustainability. So the reason I actually got this pair is because it's a collaboration with Atari, and for you old school gamers, you know Atari was one of like the original gaming systems, and so they have a collaboration with Atari. It comes in a very cool box, and if you look inside, you can see, get a pretty good glance of the shoe, and they call it old school sneakers with new school ethics. So they're all about ethical treatment for everything that they do, from the cotton that they use to the rubber that they use to the factories that they use. Everything from soup to nuts is all focused on making sure it's doing the best it can for the environment and for people and following all the rules of ethics. They're certified by all of these organizations that certify that the work that they're doing is done the right way. Now these are, again, an Atari inspired design. As you see here, it has the Atari there. there, and it has game on there, and it's a pretty simple shoe. Has a full rubber cup sole, has a little rubber cup there at the toe to protect your toes there, and then this is all canvas. So the insoles in here are cork. They use Mamona oil instead of using petroleum, and then they use natural rubber, and they use the scraps of the rubber, and they actually recycle the scraps on the floor to make more rubber, so none of it goes to waste. Again, they're trying to make sure the planet is a better place. So if that is something that you're into and you love sneakers with that classic style, this is something you should definitely have on your radar. So shout out to the folks over at Kariuma for sending this pair over. Again, as an Atari fan, I thought it was cool that it had the Atari logo and the game on. We're going back. Since we're going back to Atari, let's keep it with the old school. So these are from 1993, and it's by a company called And One. They're not as popular as they used to be. And One used to be the biggest thing in the world when it came to basketball, but things have changed, but they're still repping for the brand. And one of their most popular sneakers is the Tai Chi. Now, the Tai Chi was big because of, one, just because And One was huge back in the day, but also it was a big shoe because of Vince Carter. But the shoes, more importantly, are the classics, and this is the classic colorway, the red and white. For those that are familiar with Vince Carter, you saw him dunk in these and win the dunk contest wearing these. And it was a huge moment for And One because they were this small brand. They weren't Nike, they weren't Reebok, they weren't Adidas, they weren't this huge brand. They were a small brand that really started in the streets. Like, it started from the culture of basketball, and they had this huge moment with Vince Carter actually winning the dunk contest, and he was wearing a pair of Tai Chis, and it's really, really cool kind of to see these come back. They came back in 2018, I believe, at Complex Con, and they've had a couple of different releases, but it looks like they're doing another release just to kind of bring that old school vibe back. So if you're into the old school style of shoes, if you like the And One brand or you remember And One, then this is probably something you should pick up and put into your rotation. It kind of reminds me of the Question a little bit. For those that are familiar with the Reebok Question, it kind of has Question vibes. And let's move on to the next pair. So this is actually another Way of Wade 9. This is a separate colorway, and it's not as loud as the other one. So if you like the Way of Wade 9, but that one was just a little too loud for you, this one is called the Coming Home colorway, and these will definitely grab some attention. Same sort of style, it has that same plate, same bounce foam, which feels great. I still recommend going a half size up. This pair actually has D-Wade there as well. And this is like a TPU plate as well. I didn't mention that with the other one, but this is to help you from rolling your foot over the side of the shoe. So you have this extra reinforcement here. So when you're making that hard cut, so your foot doesn't actually start rolling over or rolling out over on top of the insole, you have this TPU piece here to kind of keep you locked in. If red is your thing, I know everyone loves the Red Octobers, but this is a different take on red, obviously coming from a basketball shoe. And I think you'll definitely get some attention wearing these on the court. That's bright. These are super bright. Wait, and we have another And One Tai Chi. Shout out to the folks over at Champ Sports that actually sent these over. This colorway I'm not familiar with this colorway, but I think this colorway is really cool for a couple of different reasons. One, it's just different from the red and white, which is the one that you always kind of see when anyone talks about the Tai Chi. But this has a lot of the graphics from the mixtapes. And for those that aren't familiar with what a mixtape is, back in the day, you had basketball mixtapes. Like, kids do it now. You see it posted on Instagram, but it's just one person. And One did it back in the day, and it was just street basketball from all over the country. Back then, the internet wasn't popping the way that it is now, so you really couldn't see these kind of things. So you would actually get like these bootleg tapes of street basketball and seeing people doing all sorts of tricks and dunks and just embarrassing people on the court. And you get a lot of that feel here on the upper of the shoe. For those that lived through that era or that have seen some of those mixtapes, which are crazy by the way. You get those vibes here. It was really, really dope. It was a dope time for basketball when street basketball had such a feeling, and there was this energy around the world about street basketball, and One was at the top of its class when it came to documenting that culture and making sure that people that wanted to see it were able to see it. So big shout out to the folks over at One. 2 more to go, so we're almost done here. Now this one actually already released, so big shout out to the folks over at New Balance for sending these over. This is the collaboration with Kawhi Leonard and Goosebumps. For those that aren't familiar with Goosebumps, it's basically a horror series, a horror novel series for kids. So it's like scary books for kids that was super popular in the 90s, obviously when Kawhi was a kid in the 90s. And they collaborated with New Balance on his shoe, and they sent over this crazy packaging that you can see here that has all of this details on it. So it has New Balance Goosebumps, it has a Goosebumps t-shirt. So you see here it has all of those details there, and then on the back it has the KL2 for Kawhi Leonard Goosebumps. He turns into a beast on the court, and it says beware of the claw, and it has a werewolf. Very cool detail. And then there's a book here as well. The Scarecrow Walks at Night. It's a Goosebumps tale, and I imagine this must have been Kawhi's favorite Goosebumps story. On the shoes, which are here, so you can see here on the shoes, it has like the orange and green of the Goosebumps. So if I pull this out here, you see the story and you see the shoes and you see how they all come together, which is really cool. But the details on these is obviously the green and the orange from the book. These have the fuel cell midsole, which gives that extra cushioning. Right here. They actually have his name on the tongue, so it says Kawhi Leonard there. The insoles say Goosebumps. You have the New Balance hit on the back. But something that's really cool is actually if you get these at the right angle, you can see some of the graphics from the Goosebump books on the back of the shoe. They have the number 2 for Kawhi's number, but it's like the birds, the trees, like all the kind of things you see in like the Goosebump covers. It's not written, I was gonna say it's made a part of the shoe, which I think is a very cool detail. Helps kind of bring out the story of why this collaboration was made. So these actually released on 420. They're available right now over on New Balance, and I believe they're available on the Foot Locker site as well. So if you're into Goosebumps, or if you're a big Kawhi fan, or if you're a Clipper fan, you can grab yourself a pair of these right now. Let's move on to my favorite pair. I did not expect to like these as much as I did. I saw them online, I thought they were cool, I thought they looked nice, but then I actually got to see them in person and wear them and get them in my hand, and I actually wore these already. So it's the collaboration between Adidas Originals and Pharrell. It's under his Human Race line, which, you know, a lot of his sneakers come out, and it's a new silhouette called the NMD RYAT. So I'm thinking that's Riot, the NMD Riot, and it's almost a boot, but it's still a sneaker, but it is really cool. It's a bit big and bulky. I will admit that right off the top. It's a bit big and bulky, but I absolutely love it, and I just think they did a great job with it. Details wise, it has boost on the insole or the midsole, so you have that boost cushioning there, and then the upper is made with really nice material. So this is all leather and suede. You see they have the suede hits on the eye laces, they have the suede hit on the toe box, they have the suede here on the heel, and then the rest is leather. You have leather hits there, you have leather for the eyelets here, and then you have some ripstop canvas there as well. So like all the materials here are really, really nice. On the liner, you have leather there as well. So it's really a nicely made shoe. I wore these already, which is why you can see they're kind of brown there at the bottom. And the feedback that I have is they're heavy, one, yes, so they're definitely going to be heavier than your normal shoe, and they do feel a little bit bulky, so I've gotta work that out on how I style them and how I wear them, because they do look kind of big. But as far as the silhouette goes, I personally really like this, and I think it is a good look, especially pops with the pink laces. Anyway, so yeah, I just want to give you guys a look at these. These are actually $250, I believe. So Adidas is definitely not mincing words when it comes to pricing for these, but it's such a unique silhouette. It's brand new, and I can't wait to see what other colorways that they come up with this pair. Anyway, so this is the NMD S1 Riot Tai Chi mixtape colorway, Goosebumps collaboration, Sunshine State version of the Way of Wade 9, home colorway, original colorway of the Tai Chi, the Atari collaboration with Kariuma. So yeah, hope you enjoy. As always, guys, make sure you like, favorite, and subscribe. And if you have any questions about any of these shoes, let me know down in the comments below. I'm Jacques Slade. As always, I appreciate you, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.